Are you ready to transform your pool into a stunning oasis? At Mainland Pool Service, they're a family-owned business committed to keeping your pool looking pristine all year round. They believe that pool care should be proactive, not reactive, which is why their skilled team handles everything from routine cleaning to complex issues with precision. They prioritize clear communication and personalized solutions to exceed your expectations. Join the Mainland Pool Service family today and experience the difference their expertise and dedication can bring to your relaxation retreat. Contact them now at mainlandpoolservice.com.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live. Own the 2025-26 Grizzlies season with the 10-game Flex Pack, the ultimate way to catch all the action on your terms. Choose your favorite matchups from intense rivalries to weekend thrillers and customize your pack to fit your schedule. With 10 games to pick, you'll never miss the moments that matter most. Visit Grizzlies.com/packs today to build your perfect ticket pack and cheer on the Grizzlies your way. It's your team, your season, and your schedule. So don't miss out.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from Midtown Manhattan, New York City. Bennett Doyle back in Memphis, producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope your greatest fear in this world wasn't a complete blow-up of the core that leads to a complete rebuild, because that's where we're at. As you know, it was reported yesterday, not long after we wrapped here, Jaren Jackson Jr. has been traded out of the franchise and to the Utah Jazz. Barring a surprise, reportedly, Ja Morant could be the next to go. We'll talk through it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. The next segment, about 25 minutes or so, Chris Vernon is going to join me. He, of course, is the host of the Chris Vernon Show, weekdays noon, Grind City Media. It's always an interesting show when what happened to them happened yesterday, because you're right in the middle of the show. Like you're talking about possible Giannis trades, and then boom, 12:41. Oh, wow, Jaren Jackson Jr. has been traded. You are reacting in real time. Chris Vernon will be here in the next segment. We'll talk about all the developments. Finish talking to Verno, take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, NCAA President Charlie Baker has reiterated once again that he wouldn't mind seeing the NCAA tournament expand. So this is going to happen perhaps as soon as next season. I'll tell you why in about 40 minutes. Tennessee blasted Ole Miss last night in Knoxville. Chris Beard, the Ole Miss coach, was ejected. Strange scene. We'll show that to you in just a bit. The NFL's Pro Bowl, that was last night. I'm going to ask Bennett if it was worth watching. We'll do that a little later on in the show. The NFL's Players Association has made it clear that it does not want 18 regular season games. This is interesting because Roger Goodell, Robert Kraft, among others, have been basically talking about this since last month. Like it's a foregone conclusion. We're going to 18 regular season games, down to 2 preseason games. Everybody's going to play an international game. This is where we're headed. And the Players Association yesterday said, hold up, this is all stuff to be negotiated, and you ain't even talked to us about it in any sort of formal way yet. So that's interesting. I'll tell you more about it in the third segment. And this story with Savannah Guthrie's mother continues to be weird and terrifying. Yuck. I don't even know what to make of it, but I'll get you updated on it. I'll read you the latest headlines. We'll do that during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's Carryout, and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies because game 49 of scheduled 82 is going to be played tonight in Sacramento. Grizz Kings Golden One Center, 9 p.m. Central tip, FanDuel Sports Network. As I'm sure you know, it will be the first game since the Grizzlies traded Jaren Jackson Jr. to Utah. In the first real blockbuster trade of trade deadline week, the news broke after we wrapped yesterday. It broke at exactly 12:41 p.m. Central. Shams Charania broke it. The Grizzlies traded Jaren Jackson Jr., Vince Williams Jr., a lot of juniors in here, John Konchar and Jock Landale to the Utah Jazz for Walter Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, George Yang, and 3 future first-round picks. If you're curious about the quality of the picks, it's impossible to know. The 2027 Lakers pick probably wouldn't be good simply because of Luka, but you never know. The 2031 Suns pick could be amazing. It's unprotected, but you never know. Then they get the 2027 pick that is most favorable between Utah, Cleveland, and Minnesota. Could be great, could be in the 20s. No way to know. But the one thing we do know now is that a pivot into a full rebuild has arrived. Whatever hopes you ever had for Jaren are now officially over. Dez has been gone. Jaren is now gone. Ja will be next. It's tank time, baby. Big Bet Bennett, good to see you on this Wednesday morning. Share your feelings with me, please.
Oh, I mean, obviously I was, you know me, I was bummed yesterday because you watch these guys for years and you root for them, and so you're always bummed to see like a guy that was such a big figure in the franchise be gone. I think a lot of people were surprised. I mean, obviously most people probably thought that you were going to see Ja Morant news before Jaren, if you even saw Jaren Jackson Jr. news at all, right? But it to your point, yeah, it does signify a rebuild, and that's a scary place to be, man. That's a scary place to be. You know, obviously they have stockpiled a ton of draft picks, which is good for purposes of a rebuild. But you also got to get lucky in that lottery. So hopefully, you know, we'll see how the rest of this season goes. But hopefully, you know, some luck falls our way on draft lottery night.
The order in which these things are going to happen might just be the order in which these things could happen, but undeniably, I think moving Jaren before you move Ja makes the, whenever it breaks news that you're moving Ja,
I know where you're going,
less of a like, what are they doing? Because we know exactly what they're doing now. In other words, if Jaren Jackson Jr. is still a member of this franchise right now, this minute, and Shams tweets that the Grizzlies are trading Ja Morant, in the replies, you'd get mixed reviews and, you know, some funny memes and stuff. But in the replies, somewhere it would be like, what are you doing? You could have just kept Ja and Jaren together and hoped for the best. Why are you doing? There'd have been a lot of that. A lot of the other stuff too, but a lot of that. Well, once you move Jaren, it's clear there is like quite literally no good reason to keep Ja Morant. You're collecting draft picks, you're focusing on Cedric Coward, Zach Edey. Having Ja Morant here under these circumstances like actually makes no sense whatsoever. So the reaction, whenever that comes, if it comes, I shouldn't act like it's guaranteed to come, but the reaction, if it comes before tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central, it might be touched with sadness, but it won't be touched with outrage because we got the news yesterday at 12:41 p.m. Central. We know where we know where we're headed. The goal is no longer to try to get healthy and try to get into the postseason and try to outperform your seed and try to recapture what it once was everybody thought you had. The goal is now to turn the page completely and rebuild, hopefully over a short period of time, but you never know.
Yeah, and I know we're going to talk a lot about this, but real quick, just on Jaren, obviously he's he was a great ambassador for the team, a great player. I think he's going to be awesome in Utah. I saw the post that the Grizzlies put out yesterday just of all his accolades. And, there is no question about it. He's one of the greatest players in the history of this franchise. The accolades speak for themselves. He's 6th all-time in scoring. He obviously made the all-rookie first team, 2-time All-Star, 2-time blocks leader, 3-time all-defensive team, defensive player of the year. He has a nice resume. I think, he might be looked back on when we're looking back years from now on this era, like we tend to do with the G&G era. I think he will definitely be looked back as a guy that was maybe underappreciated in his time here. Maybe similar to a Pau Gasol in a way. 2 different players, but you get the point. His numbers kind of speak for themselves as far as what he's done in the history of this franchise.
Fans get frustrated with perimeter-oriented bigs unless they're one of the 5 best in the world. Mm-hmm. And so that is Jaren's story on some level in terms of, he'd have a rough game, grab 3 rebounds in 28 minutes, and you could do the Twitter search and it was all there. But he's a multi-time All-Star. He had some good times here, some bad times here. If he was ever upset with anything, we didn't hear about it publicly. He conducted himself like a professional. I think we've all learned you don't take that for granted. And so he was an important and impactful and positive member of the franchise for a long time. He, in many ways, grew up here. I think he would tell you that. And so, yeah, yesterday was an important day in the franchise, and he'll have a legacy here, and he'll matter, to people here forever. You heard Vernon talking about Haley yesterday. You walk in my little guy's bedroom, there's Jaren Jackson Jr.
Same.
He matters here and will matter here. And I know a lot of people were sad to see him go. And yeah, I could co-sign that because he was he's not from here, but he came to my hometown and he embraced it and he represented it well. And I appreciate him for that. As for the deal, because that's the first thing people want to know. What do you think of the deal? I understand it. I understand what's happening right now. I mean, you'd have to be intentionally ignorant not to understand what's happening right now and why it's happening right now. I understand it. I won't pretend that I love it, but I do understand it. But I can't pretend that I love it because what I actually love about being a sports fan is competing. I like watching the standings. I like making the playoffs. I like discussing adjustments you can make between game 1 and game 2. I like dreaming about, oh man, what if we got a good break? And on Tuesday, officially, the franchise has given up on that approach, at least for the time being. Now the plan is to tear down, build around Cedric Coward, Zach Edey, and move forward with 12 first-round picks over the next 7 years, and very intentionally try to make it worse in an attempt to make it better. Very intentionally get bad so that you can maybe get great. This is how Oklahoma City built the Thunder. This is, I hope people understand, smart, or at least considered smart in most outsiders' eyes. There are plenty of people who get paid to write and talk about the NBA who have been suggesting the Grizzlies should have done this a long time ago. Blow this thing up. What are you holding on to? So in most outsiders' eyes, this is smart. But none of that makes it fun. It can be smart. You can understand it, but it doesn't necessarily make it fun. Because it's like officially giving up on something you wanted to work so badly. That's not fun. And B, the problem with tanking to rebuild is that it is not guaranteed to work. It can work. See Oklahoma City. But sometimes getting bad to hopefully get great, sometimes it just gets you bad and it keeps you bad for an uncomfortable and damaging amount of time. And so I can't lie and tell you that I'm looking forward to going through that. But I do understand it. I get it. But if you're somebody who maybe doesn't understand it, why this was done, and why most seem to think it was smart, let me read you something Sam Quinn wrote over at CBSSports.com yesterday after the deal went down. Here's what Sam wrote. It's probably going to take a few years of pain, but ultimately this front office has earned the benefit of the doubt. They built a contending core in Morant, Jackson, and Bane. It just couldn't stay healthy. Remember, the Thunder went through the entire failed Kevin Durant era before they landed on the potential dynasty that they have now. Sometimes a smart front office needs to learn from its first trip through the contender cycle so it can get things right on its second try. Ideally, and that's where Sam's words stop, mine pick up. Ideally, that's the map the Grizz are now trying to follow. And, oh, buddy, I'd be totally cool with being the next Oklahoma City. That sounds amazing. But I think most people agree with this, that despite everything I just said and everything Sam Quinn wrote, Tuesday was still a sad day. And though I guess there's responsibility to be thrown around in a variety of directions, the truth is, if you're trying to figure out exactly where to pin the bulk of the responsibility, I say this with no enthusiasm, but this is the way the story will be written or should be written. All of this, it falls on Ja Morant. This was supposed to be great largely because of him, but it never got there, largely because of him. He couldn't stay healthy. He couldn't consistently conduct himself professionally off the court, in the locker room. You know the deal. It stinks. Like once upon a time, he was supposed to be the face of a franchise that ESPN ranked number one in its future power rankings. Who's set up to be great going forward? Number one, Memphis Grizzlies. Why? Ja, Jaren, Dez, but mostly Ja. Once upon a time, that's who he was. But all he became, at least by the age of 26, is a very famous person who barely plays basketball and who seems to, in this moment, have no real trade value. And he's undeniably the main reason this thing is being torn down. He was tasked with the job of taking this franchise to great places. And he failed spectacularly for a variety of reasons. I hope he figures it out moving forward. But his legacy here will forever be like one playoff series win in 7 seasons. Big promises, great highlights, but too many injuries, too many suspensions, too many embarrassments. Some of that isn't his fault. That should be acknowledged, but a lot of it is. And perhaps he's too young to care in this moment. God knows I probably would have been at 26. But one day he will look back at all of this and regret the way that it unfolded. If he could rewind to, say, 2022 and do this all over again differently, I bet he would. But life doesn't work that way. So at best, all you can do is live and learn and try to be better. We've all had moments in our lives like that. Most of us go through them privately. Ja's struggles have been very public. So, like, sincerely, I know that's hard, and I hope he figures it out. But just to circle back on this stuff, the reason Desmond Bane was traded last summer, and the reason Jaren Jackson Jr. was traded on Tuesday, and the reason Ja Morant will likely be traded as well soon, is because of Ja Morant. He was supposed to be the face of the most exciting thing this city has ever had in sports. Instead, he's the face of the most disappointing thing this city has ever had in sports. Like the next gen Grizz, only one playoff series victory. We went from I'm fine in the West to getting smacked around by every good team. Yikes. And yet, and this is where I wanted to land before we get to Vernon, I think the most important thing to remember about all of this is that none of it will prevent Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson from mattering positively in this city forever if they so choose. They will forever be so many Memphians' first favorite athletes. We all have them. I touched on this earlier in the week or in recent weeks, but we all have them. Bennett, who's yours? First favorite professional athlete, first favorite athlete, first person. I know the cliche has had the poster on your wall. I don't know if you ever actually had the poster on your wall, but like first professional athlete, like you admired, looked up to, wanted to be, whatever.
Like when I was a kid, I mean, honestly, when I was a kid, it's probably Penny. But like in my Grizzlies fandom, it's Zebo. I mean, it's Zebo without question. Okay. I think that's a lot of people my age are going to say that.
Okay, that's perfect. And so Zebo will matter to you forever. You'll be in the same room with him, and he'll recognize you, and you'll recognize him, and you'll like know each other on some level. But somewhere inside of you, it's going to be like, that is Zebo, man. That's going to never leave you. Your first favorites, they don't leave you. And I sort of had a eye-opening moment on this, because as you're struggling through the losing streaks and the various injuries and the suspensions, and you just get really frustrated, and you're like, come on, man, Jesus Christ, this was not supposed to go like this. It was easy for me to just go and F this and F that and whatever. You know, you get frustrated, and then your head goes to different places. But then this happened the other day. I was sitting in my office and just sort of thinking through all this stuff. And in my office, I believe this is true, there are various things hanging on my walls, like a painting over here and a picture over there and a poster over there. But I think if you were to stand in the middle of my office with like an iPhone and just do a circle, and say, here's what we're looking at everything in GP's office, I think there's two faces, human faces, pictures of faces in my office hanging on my wall. Two. And it's Dwight Gooden and Darryl Strawberry. Now, it is not intentional that I never had the conscious thought of I'm going to hang my first two favorite professional athletes in my office. It's just something that I don't even know. It just happened. I just got this. Somebody sent me this, and I was like, well, I'll put that up there. And then somebody gave me this, and I was like, I'll put that up there. But it is true. If you walk to my office right now, there's two faces on the wall. And it is the two baseball players that I idolized when I was 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old. And several years back, I want to say like 2015, my wife and I were at a Mets Nationals game. I had to go to, I went to Maryland to do a Mark Turgeon story. And I happened to plan it intentionally around a Mets Nationals series so that we could go to Nationals Park, see the Mets, all that stuff. And so we bought seats wherever we were sitting. And I just sort of noticed out of the corner of my eye, Doc Gooden is sitting in the section next to us. It's maybe July 4th. It's definitely July. It's 1,000,000 degrees. He is sweating. It's like, and I don't bother famous people. I've been fortunate enough because of my career, I guess, to be in some rooms with some interesting people. I don't bother them. I've met a lot of interesting people. I don't have selfies with them typically because I don't bother people. But I saw Doc Gooden. And let's just do the math on it. If it was, 11 years ago, I'm in my late 30s. And I saw Doc Gooden. And I ran up to him. And I said, Doc, can I, and I want to be clear, there were 8 other people just like me who looked just like me. Same age, same belly, same wrinkles, running up to Doc Gooden. And then it was over. I took the selfie, and then I went back to my seat, and I was like, what just happened to me? Like, what? That is so out of character to me, for me. Just to run up to a stranger, a famous person, and ask for a selfie? Like, I don't do that. I've seen Denzel Washington in a restaurant and Dave Chappelle on 57th Street. I don't bother these people. I ran up to Doc Gooden. And it was because in that moment, I felt like I was a kid. And I felt like I was looking at baseball cards and watching the 86 Mets. And I just sort of lost myself. He's my favorite professional athlete of all time. And here's the truth. This is the part that I think clarifies some stuff for me. He was really only great for like 5 years. It was over very quickly. By the age of 25, his best years were behind him. He served multiple suspensions. He was a flawed person with incredible gifts. At his best, he was the best. But it was so brief, and it was gone so early. And I don't even really focus on any of that when I look back on it. When I think about Doc Gooden, I don't think about how awful it ended or how much was left on the table or how it should have gone differently. I just remember, like, the good stuff. It's kind of like a vacation, you know? You don't necessarily remember the fight in the airport as much as you remember the, nice day at the beach if you're lucky enough to have a nice day at the beach. And so there was a part of me that was like, man, this thing really got twisted up sideways, and it just stinks that my son's first favorite athlete is going to be somebody that got, barring a surprise, traded away for nothing just to turn the page on an era that could have been special, but really never got close to actually achieving that. It stinks that my little guy's first favorite professional athlete is going to be that. And it does. But here's the truth. If they're 35 years old someday and they bump into John Morant, they will flip out and think it's the coolest thing in the world because they will remember how he made them feel in the good moments. And I think a lot of Grizzlies fans will be able to do that. It stinks that we ended up in this moment. I've seen some people suggest from the second they traded Desmond Bane, it was clear this is where they were headed, and I just don't think that's true. I think they moved Desmond Bane to break that thing up, and then we were hopeful that the Jaren, Zach Edey, Cedric Coward thing would be the thing that took off, and it never did. There was a suspension. There's been injuries. There's been chaos and turmoil, and if you're on Grind City Media on a Wednesday morning, you know how it's gone. But I really do think when my little guys look back on all this, when Haley Vernon looks back on all this, yeah, they'll remember that it didn't go well the way it should have, but they'll still hold these guys, Des included, I think, in high regard forever, because I think I'm evidence on some level. Even when your favorite professional athletes from your childhood, the first ones you ever attach to, even when they are incredibly flawed people or don't take your favorite team where you hoped it would go, there's something still special about them that you carry around, I think probably for the rest of your life. And no, Jaren never were able to accomplish what we wanted them to accomplish, what I know they wanted to accomplish, but they'll matter here forever. Chris Vernon up next.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Now that's the new edition way.
I feel like there's another level we can take it to.
What you think, Mike?
2 steps ahead of you, Slick.
What's good, bro?
What you doing, man?
I'm in.
Woman, you don't even know what I'm getting ready to ask you.
Here's the vision. All 3 of us on the same stage every night.
Gonna be crazy.
No barriers, no separation.
It'll be like 9 kings and a queen.
The next level starts now.
Duke is suing their quarterback because Darian Menza announced he was entering the transfer portal last Friday. So Duke said, no, you're not.
I'm all for NIL. I'm all for player freedom to transfer and player empowerment. But just saying, I signed the contract, but the contract doesn't matter. I don't understand how that works.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
The long goodbye begins. A very special evening with Journey. Final Frontier Tour. Journey. Tickets are on sale now at journeymusic.com. Your chance to say goodbye to the songs that changed our lives. Journey. Final Frontier Tour.
Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. I'm in New York City. Bennett Doyle back in the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum downtown Memphis. And I think right beside him is Chris Vernon, host of the Chris Vernon Show. Weekdays noon, Grind City Media. He's here. He's here. How you doing? How's your daughter doing? How's the family doing? How's everybody doing?
Terrible. Her teacher said she was teary-eyed in class this morning.
Yeah.
I know. Just sent me a message on Instagram. She's like, bless her heart. She got teary when somebody asked her about it this morning. And I was like, come on. Because, she's going to go to school and everybody's going to ask her about it.
Right.
Like, that's her guy. Like, you know what I mean? She wears it on her sleeve. And so, no, it's been horrible. I picked her up yesterday from school. Oh, my God, was she mad. Oh, she was mad. She screamed at me, he signed a contract. And I'm trying to explain professional sports to her. And that's like...
Yeah. And you said, Haley, what you have to understand about the modern NBA is that if you are offered a max contract, regardless of the team, you sign it. And then you can figure out where you want to play. But you always sign the contract.
She thought that meant that he was here.
Oh, no.
Yeah, right. No. I know. I'm aware. Try to explain this to a 12-year-old. And then, no lie... We go, and I go to get a haircut. We walk out, and there's an older gentleman that's standing outside the place. He's like, I was just watching you. And I was like, oh. And he looks at her, and he's like, you doing okay? I'm like, oh. Everybody knows. It sucks, man. It sucks. She's like, what am I supposed to do? Just take all my stuff down? To go, do... Oh, my... It was terrible. Terrible, dude.
Yeah, I do think, and perhaps I'm just projecting here, but I do think... As you get older, the favorite players for your favorite team, they sort of come and go. but your first favorites, they're there forever. Like, you ready?
Childhood. It's your childhood stuff.
I loved Mike Piazza when he was playing, but I don't care about Mike Piazza today. But I love Doc Gooden forever. I'll cry when Darryl Strawberry dies. But, like, Mike Piazza, whatever. Like, he mattered at a different point in my life, so he doesn't matter in my life anymore.
Well, that's pretty easy to explain. We end up having a million other things to care about.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that matter more than sports. When you're a kid, there's very few things. You don't have things that you care about a lot. That's what you care about a lot. When you get to be an adult, there's a lot of things you care about a lot. That's why there's these people that like spend literally all day fighting about politics. I see it every day. You do too. They ain't got that much to care about. There are very few people that like are fighting every day that have like a ton of other stuff they care about. So like that's the thing, right? Like, and so some of us have sports, some of us have politics, some of us have whatever the case may be. But when you're a kid, that's what you care about. How many? Like, list the things that matter to you when you're a kid.
Right.
It's pretty high.
It's
you know what I mean?
Sports and Legos.
Right? There's not that, and the things that like right now, like, okay, I'll give you, for instance, last night, right? we were goofing back and forth, and she was goofing with me, and she's calling me. She's like, "You already ate the ice cream, you big back," and she's like goofing at me and whatever. And so she's yelling at me, whatever, and then she drops She drops her ice cream on the ground. This is a perfect example of what yesterday was like. So the ice cream drops on the ground. I start laughing. She gets mad. She walks out of the room. She says, "You clean it up." And I'm like, "You're out of your mind." I'm like, number one, it's chocolate ice cream. The dog can't get it. Number two, this is getting cleaned up. Number three, if you think I'm cleaning that up, you're out of your mind, Haley. So I go in there, and so same thing I'm sure you do. What do I go for? If I want something done, what do I go for?
Take the iPad.
The iPad.
Yeah.
That ice cream was up in 2 seconds, right? Again, that iPad matters more to her than, like, I mean, if we're listing the things that, like, immediately matter in life, it's very, very high. And that is just not the case as you get on. You got a lot of other stuff you care about. So Jaren Jackson Jr., like, we're gonna, and also one day she's gonna look at me like there's not like a bunch of stuff on her walls, right? But right now, like, there's like Jaren Jackson Jr. is up there, you know what I mean? And so it's omnipresent every time she walks into her room, and so that's kind of slaps you in the face.
Will you tell her I'm now 49 years old, and when I walk into my office, Doc Gooden and Darryl Strawberry are on my wall.
Yeah, right.
So like that
it happens.
These people will matter to her.
Oh, trust me, it's just over the course of the last year too. You walk in Williams' room, and guess what was like prominently on the wall?
Like Micah Parsons.
Right. I mean, this has been crap. And Morant stuff's everywhere. It's all, and then there's like 4 pairs of Jaws, and there's we've got every jersey in the world, and it's like, oh my God. It all just hits you. I was in my game room last night getting some work done. I went upstairs, and I mean, it's crazy the things I noticed that I like walk past every day. And I'm like, Jesus, I got a lot of Jaren stuff up here. I mean, it's just, you see it. It's like John Jaren stuff and like giveaways and like all the stuff that I've collected over the years and whatever else. And you're like, damn, man, that's a lot of stuff. And it's like, this stinks. It stinks.
It stinks. So let me circle back to something I noted earlier, because I've read this in various places. Like, I'm paraphrasing, but the sentiment is this. As soon as the Grizzlies traded Desmond Bane, it was clear they were headed in this direction. And I just don't think that's true.
Of course it wasn't.
Okay.
That's not true. That's not true.
They still wanted, on day one of this season, the front office still wanted, I believe, Ja and Jaren and Zach Edey and Cedric Coward to take this thing forward, and it just never happened.
Yeah, I think the Bane thing was you saw them play against the best team in the NBA, and you sat there and go, okay, maybe the Morant-Bane combination is not the best thing. And you would sign him up to a huge contract. And the other thing is you got an offer that was just wild. Wild. Yeah. It was a wild offer. Like, the Bane one is a wild offer. Like, especially now in the context of when you're going to see, like, all of the other guys and what they go for. Like, the idea that we got to a point where Trae Young netted you 0 picks.
Right.
And Desmond Bane netted you 4 first-rounders. I mean, that is wild. You know, I mean, and so the value on that pick was crazy. You could argue, I mean, honestly, a lot like it's going to hinge on if Clayton becomes like a big-time player, which is not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, there were a lot of people that loved him in college and certainly in the draft, and maybe he can become a big-time player. But, you know, those picks, you know, that's a while out before you ever get any kind of result from that.
Right. Unless you package them for something, you know,
maybe
more recent. But here's what we know. My favorite thing to do is go downtown, watch the Grizzlies play and win. And that is not going to happen a lot moving forward for a little while. And I don't know. I sort of where I land on this is I understand it. I understand why people say it's smart, but like,
it's not fun.
It's not fun. It's not fun.
You know what I mean? Like, it's painful. Dude, rebuilds are painful.
Right.
I've been here for 25 years. I've been through all of them. All of them. They're painful. They're not fun in the moment. Right. And it's like I responded to somebody yesterday. They're like, what do you think about the trade? I'm like, well, like, A, it's like right after it happened. But B, like, nobody likes these trades. Nerds. The people that do spreadsheets, nerds like trades like this. Anybody that's like an actual sports fan that like roots for a team, nobody likes these trades. They're not fun. Like, you like the results of these trades. And that is to be determined. You don't know what the result is going to be. Like, so, but in the moment, you're not going to like, you know, things that make you worse in order to make you better down the road. And when you say I understand, like, here's the truth of the matter, and this is one of the things that we discussed yesterday when it's so fresh. It's like, sometimes we've got to look in the mirror and be honest and go, bro, this hadn't been fun in 3 years.
Right.
Like, we're holding on to something that was fun 3 years. Like, we all are. Everybody is. We're all holding on to something that was fun 3 years ago. Because 2 seasons ago, the whole thing went to hell in a handbasket and everybody got injured. The first, you know, the first Marcus Smart year, right? After you got walloped by the Lakers. Then you came back the next year and everybody just got injured. And then you ended up, you know, like with whatever, 30 wins. You know, you got the draft pick. And then last season, you had the whole coaching, staff was flipped out, and John Morant is pissed off the whole year, and we're sitting there like every day talking about like, why is he like, what is going on? He hates this new offense. He doesn't like he's standing in the corner playing thumb wars with Mikal Bridges. It's like, what is going on? And and you can never beat a good team, never. Like, you never beat anybody, and then the last 2 months of the season were an unmitigated disaster. And then you had the petering out when you got into the playoffs. But like, so we're going back to 3 years ago when it was like fun, right? When it was cracking. And that was the year that you lost in pretty humiliating fashion to the Lakers in the first round. And so it's like, I don't know. Like, that's the other thing. Like, sometimes you got to be honest. Like, I just want it to be fun again. If this is the mode of operation that gets it to be fun again, then I'm with it. Like, because I just want it to be fun again because, yeah, it's not fun to, like, not compete. But I'm telling you, they have been trying to compete, and it hasn't been fun in 3 years.
Last thing before I get you out of here, I know the reporting is that they could just keep Ja through the trade deadline and address it in the offseason, but, buddy, it feels like it's just time to be done with everything and turn the page. What do you think happens?
I think that they have shown the ability to say no to things. I mean, if we just go, it's interesting, right? Like, obviously pulled the trigger. They'll pull the trigger on something like the Jaren deal, but so many of the ones that were going to improve the team, Those never got to the finish line. I mean, I spent shows talking about they're going after OG Anunoby, they're going after Mikal Bridges, they're going after, whatever. And I do feel like you're probably right. Like, and this is one of the things that we brought up yesterday on the show. Our fear was they're going to move Jaren to blunt the jaw thing.
Yes.
And that's like, so come on. And the other thing is, there's very few, if they don't pull a trigger on the Giannis thing, one thing is he so desperately doesn't want to be viewed as a bad guy or perceived as anything other than a great human being. Right. It's not like that's going to get toxic for the last couple of months of the season, right? And with Harden and Morant, it's a little different where it's like, dude, this could get, it could get gnarly. And so I would certainly think that you end up pulling the trigger. And I think that, the fact that the Jaren thing was done yesterday probably means that, because as you were saying, it blunts it now. It blunts it, right? Because, what are you going to do? You have Morant and a bunch of draft picks?
Right. Yeah. If you trade Ja before Jaren and keep Jaren, and then Ja goes off to be something wonderful again, people will forever say you should have never done that. But once you move Jaren.
And the other thing, Gary, is I don't think the value's ever going up on him again here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why you would do it. You would say the value will go up in the summer. But who's what are you?
Yeah, I don't think. I think it's.
Well, why? Why would it go up in the summer? Because he's not coming back and playing awesome for you the last couple of months of the season. In fact, he's probably not playing at all, right?
Yeah.
Seriously, he's not playing at all. And so then what? Then we get to the summer, and all of a sudden people are going to be like, who we really need? The guy that just didn't play for the whole season again.
Right, yeah. So the front office can do whatever it wants. They're smarter than I am. But if I were in charge, I think I'd be under these instructions. Hey, give me the best. Give me the best package we can get.
Well, this is not like a last minute thing. They know what's available. They're just deciding. It's been 3 weeks.
What I'm doing is I'm just sitting here on my best offer, and at 159, if it's still my best offer, I'm pulling the trigger on it.
Well, and the other thing is, they'll make some of these deals where they'll trade into that massive trade exception in order to get, another first rounder attached to it, right? So then you're going to look up, and at the end of the day, you netted 9 first-round picks when it's all said and done for Bane and Jackson.
But
nerds will love that.
But the way they'll tell the story will be told will be, listen, we moved on from Ja, Jaren, Dez that had only ever won one playoff series, and we got 9 first-round picks out of it. They'll throw Ja in there this is what we got for all of this stuff. And
yes.
Yeah. Well, here we are.
It's just not, again, I'm not speaking out of school. Everybody knows. They know.
Of course.
This is painful to do. Nobody likes it. They're hard to do.
Right.
And they're painful to do, and you're just dealing with the shrapnel. And look, we still got 24 hours to see what else goes.
Yeah. All right. Buckle up.
Buckle up, indeed.
All right, I'll see you. Chris Vernon will be back in the big studio in about an hour and 12 minutes. When we come back, turn our attention to college basketball. NCAA President Charlie Baker was interviewed yesterday, reiterated he wouldn't mind seeing the NCAA tournament expand either to 72 or 76. I'll tell you why he wants to do it, even if he can't acknowledge it. We'll do that next. Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Rumored to be one of only 18 in existence. Plated with the very same tungsten that forged the International Space Station. And wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
Nate Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Memphis, Monday, February 16th. Tickets and Ringsider packages on sale now.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Unforeseen and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays in the evenings and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now, I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Pat Forty, our buddy from Sports Illustrated, SI.com, got in touch with NCAA President Charlie Baker yesterday and decided to, among other things, ask him about the future of the NCAA tournament. The question was, is this the last season we're going to have a 68-team NCAA tournament? And Charlie Baker said, could be. We'll see. And then reiterated that he wouldn't mind seeing it expand to 72 or 76 teams. This is a big topic of conversation in college basketball because there are some people with jobs like my job who are very much against this, that actually believe, or at least purport to believe, that expanding the tournament any further will, quote, ruin the sport. I want to be clear. I don't think anything's going to ruin the sport. It is hilarious to me how many decades people have been talking about all of the things that is going to ruin college sports. Transfers were going to ruin college sports. The coaches making too much money was going to ruin college sports. The players starting to make any money was going to ruin college sports. NIL was going to destroy college sports. And yet we continue to fill up stadiums, fill up arenas, and set television ratings records. Did you see this little note from Fox the other day? So you might have noticed Fox, Jordan Bejant, who used to be an agent, a sports agent, representing, coaches, and he's a big figure. He runs Fox Sports now, or is a prominent role at Fox Sports now. And he's just an outside-the-box thinker. I've known him for 15 years at this point, and he's just an impressive guy. And he has no willingness to listen to, well, this is just the way we do it, or this is the way it's done. So there's a couple of things. He's had ideas for college basketball. You might have heard at some point, as Nebraska was undefeated deep into the season, people would say things like, Nebraska is 16-0 this season, but on a 20-game winning streak because they closed last season on a 4-game winning streak. And you're like, how'd they close last season on a 4-game winning streak? They played in a tournament called The Crown out in Las Vegas. And it was more or less a tournament created by Fox Sports with power conference schools. And the idea from Jordan was basically like, you get to March Madness and the Final Four is set. but you've still got a whole week until the national championship game. There's a real appetite for college basketball. If you just put it on TV, all people are going to see is college basketball and big brands that they want to watch, or at least that they recognize. And so you'll just get an audience just by like putting college basketball in any form in front of people in the month of March leading into April. And so that's why that exists. My larger point, you might have noticed this season, like last Friday night, Michigan State in primetime on Fox. This Friday night, UConn at St. John's at Madison Square Garden, 25 blocks that way, in primetime on Fox. For years, Friday was like a nothing night in college basketball. The Ivy League played and nothing else. So you'd get Big Monday, and then you get the SEC playing on Tuesday and various conferences on Wednesday, a little bit of stuff on Thursday. But Friday was like Ivy League. You don't pay attention to college basketball on Friday night. So Jordan comes in and he says, well, why? That's live sports is the best thing for network television. We have inventory from the best conferences in the country. Why would we not put something right there and see what happens? So for the first time in like my adult life, at least, there's compelling college basketball on Friday night. And did you see the note from earlier in the week? This is what I was trying to get to. You know, ESPN, Amazon are doing Friday night NBA doubleheaders. And so if you just look at the Fox college basketball game, whatever it is, and the NBA game, whatever the featured primetime similar to network television thing is that exists, like the college basketball game is killing the NBA game, like getting 50% better ratings. So people keep saying things are going to kill college athletics, but in reality, it just keeps growing. The players are making more money now than they ever have. The coaches are making more money now than they ever have. Television ratings are, everything's up. Everything's up. So I disagree with my colleagues when they say expand the NCAA tournament will ruin college basketball. I don't think we've even touched on what can ruin college basketball. It's not perfect. There are things I'd fix, but ruin, that's probably a stretch. But it's not good for college basketball. We don't need it. It's unnecessary. So then the question becomes, why do we have it? And it is nothing more than a byproduct of conference expansion and all of these leagues growing in ways that have made it where programs with fans who think they should be winning and programs with coaches who are making millions of dollars are finishing 12th, 14th in their league because somebody's got to finish 12th or 14th in your league. And we ran through the SEC in football. I think we did this exercise back towards the end of college football season. Of these schools in the sport of football in the SEC, Bennett, you tell me which ones are okay with just being okay. Texas A&M. Are they okay with just being okay in football?
No.
Okay. Florida.
No.
What about Vanderbilt? Now, what do you think? I bet their goals are changing a little bit.
Expectations have risen, sure.
Okay, but whatever. Tennessee.
Yeah. No.
No, they want it. What, Arkansas?
We'll see. We'll see.
Kentucky?
They're fine. Yeah.
Okay, Auburn?
No.
They're not okay with being okay. Missouri? Maybe not now.
No, they have expectations.
Yeah. Texas? Come on.
Right.
Alabama?
Of course.
Georgia? LSU? Oklahoma? All right, so here's my point.
Right.
Texas A&M, Florida, Tennessee, Auburn, Texas, Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Oklahoma. That's 9 powerhouse programs. One of them, at best, has to finish 9th. That's if Ole Miss doesn't sneak up on you. That's if Kentucky doesn't have a great year. That's if South Carolina ain't surprising people. That's if Mississippi State ain't on a roll. That's if Arkansas ain't doing something special. At best, when the 9 biggest programs in the SEC in football are at their best, one of them has to finish 9th in a league with a fan base that used to celebrate conference championships. Now, at best, one of you has to finish 9th in the league, and that's if plucky Ole Miss ain't somehow in the top 10. So if you want to know why half the coaches get fired and all these buyouts, it's because people don't like losing. This is going to be the greatest you lost sight of the forest for the trees moment in college athletics. You started chasing money. If I'm in this league, I only get $35 million, but if I'm in this league, I get $45 million. Okay. But you know what you also get? 3 more losses a season. That's what you also get. Congrats on your amazing practice facility. Oh, it's got that eye recognition to get in. That's incredible. But you just lost 3 more games than you used to lose because you're in a bloated conference where there's 9 powerhouse programs all competing for the same thing, and at best, one of them's got to finish 9th. So NCAA tournament expansion, it's a way to resolve that. The pass-fail line in college basketball is often, did you make the NCAA tournament or not? I'm not sure it should be, but that is the way we talk about it. Steve Forbes has only made X NCAA tournaments in X years, and Penny Hardaway's only won 1 NCAA tournament game in this many years. That's the pass-fail line. Well, if you create 4 more spots, that is probably 4 more spots for power conference programs. If you create 6 more spots, it's probably 6 more spots for power conference programs. If you create 8, it's probably 7 for power conference, maybe 1 for a mid-major, but it will always skew that way. So people accurately will say things like, if you do this, it's just going to get more mediocre power conference schools in that aren't, we've just watched them play a whole conference schedule. They're not that good. Why do we need them in the tournament? And the NCAA pushes back and says, hey, you don't know that. You don't know that. It could be the mid-majors that you guys say you want to see, that you guys say make March Madness special. It could be them that gets these spots. You don't know. Well, we do know because we have all the data. And for the past 3 years, the NCAA has been releasing not just the field, not just the seed list, but they will release the last 4, the first 4 out and the next 4 out. So you know who just missed the cut. And you know in each of the past 2 seasons, if you would have expanded the tournament by 4 from 68 to 72, the teams that would have been added, 3 of them would have been power conference teams. Last season, year before, 3 out of 4 power conference teams. Year before that, 4 out of 4 power conference teams. Don't let them lie to you. These extra bids, when they come, they ain't going to the American. They ain't going to the Missouri Valley. They ain't going to the Atlantic 10. You know who they're going to? The 14th team in the SEC, the 15th team in the Big East, the 14th team in the Big 12. That's where they're going. They're going to teams with conference records 7-11, teams that you've watched all season long play and be completely mediocre, that you know they could play that NCAA tournament 70 million times and they would never win it. They'd probably never even win 4 games in it. But if you expand the tournament by 4, there's 4 people who are probably going to get contract extensions at the end of a season who otherwise might get fired because they missed it. And that's the real motivation here.
Number 2.
Wild scene in Knoxville last night. Bennett, my condolences. I know you expected the Rebels to keep it close. They did not. 84-66. Nate Ament got 28 points. He's the 5-star freshman for UT. Jacoby Gillespie, he got 20, so they combined for 48. But the real story was Chris Beard got ejected and then I don't know, got weird. Kyra, if you got these Chris Beard clips, let's watch him. He had a rough night last night in Knoxville, Tennessee. So here's the ejection. He's out on the court. You can't go all the way out there. You can't do all that. Can't yell like that. All right, that's going to get you ejected every time. So he's fired up. Now watch. You think it's going to be over. Okay? Now they got him. They're like, all right, it's time to go, buddy. You got to go. He says, no, I got to talk to the team one more time. Now watch this.
Nothing wrong with that.
Whoa, what are we doing? I mean, what are we doing?
Man, what's going on at Ole Miss? I
know what that looks like to me.
Yeah.
I know what that looks like to me. Kyra, if you could play back the second clip with no audio, I'm going to tell you what that looks like to me. It's Chris Beard. He's already been told to leave. They got the security guard right in front of him, and he's like, is that a Capri Sun stuffed in the cushions? Did you just stuff another Capri Sun package in the cushions? Did you stuff a Capri Sun package in the cushions? That's what that looks like to me. We got that same scene. You put a camera inside my house, we got that same scene, and it's almost always about Capri Sun packages in the cushions.
Yeah, he's angry at his team. There's no doubt about it.
Let me make sure you understand what I'm talking about. So we have a couch. On our couch, we have cushions. Not too terribly far away from our couch, we have a kitchen. And in that kitchen, there's a fridge. And often in that fridge, there are Capri Suns because, I don't know, you'd have thought my kids would have grown out of them at this point, but maybe not. Anyway, buddy, they never have any problem whatsoever walking to that refrigerator to get a Capri Sun out. I mean, they can do it every time. They do it multiple times a day, sometimes twice in an hour. Buddy, whenever they need a Capri Sun, they can get to that refrigerator, no problem. But I don't know what the challenge is about getting that Capri Sun package when it's empty to the garbage can, which is technically even closer to the couch than the fridge. It's a shorter route. I don't know why that can't happen. I just know it never does. And if I know Chris Beard the way I think I know Chris Beard, he was using an expression that suggested he just found 3 more Capri Sun packages stuffed in the middle of the cushions of the couch because somebody just didn't care enough to throw them where they're supposed to go. That's what that looked like to me.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that outcome. I thought that was what was it coming in? What do we have? Like 11.5, something like that? It was a nice number.
I think 11.5. Ole Miss just isn't very good. I'm surprised by this in all seriousness.
Because he's a good coach.
He's a great coach. This was a top 30 team preseason for me, and they're now 11-11, 3-6. Like, he's a great coach. Like, did unprecedented things at Little Rock, did unprecedented things at Texas Tech. You know what happened at Texas. He was really good at Ole Miss last season. He's an excellent coach. This is weird. I think it's more of a byproduct of the state of college basketball. Every one of these guys will tell you. I'm trying to think of who I was talking to the other day, last week. Tony Skinn, the George Mason coach. He played for that George Mason team that went to the Final Four. He's now the head coach at George Mason. They're really good. Talking to him, and he was like, yeah, building your basketball team now is like speed dating. Like, you're getting married after a 45-second conversation. So you don't know who you know what kind of shooter you might be enrolling because you can see that and see the percentages. And you know what kind of rebounder you might be enrolling, what kind of shot blocker you might be offering $700,000 to. But you have no idea what kind of person you're getting. That's what I hear from coaches all the time. I know what kind of players I'm getting. I don't know what kind of personalities I'm getting. And my big problem right now is that I got too many different personalities in this locker room. My guys don't like each other. I don't know if they like me. I'm starting not to like them. I didn't know who I married. It's like, hey, what are you doing tonight? I don't know. What are you doing tonight? I don't know. Let's get a drink. And after one drink, you're like, all right, let's do this. Let's get married. After one drink. And then you wake up on Tuesday and it's like, man, I hate you. What is going on? Like, this is the relationship between some college basketball coaches and some college basketball players. I'm not insisting that's the case at Ole Miss, but when you are trying to throw together teams, I mean, if you look at some of the best teams in the country, roster continuity is a thing. Like, they don't have their whole teams back, but they brought 2 starters back, 3 starters back, just so you're not having to establish culture with new people every season. It does feel like roster continuity is important. Obviously, Memphis didn't have it this season. It's a problem. And I'm hearing that from coaches all over the country. I have a basketball team that I put together, assembled in a matter of weeks, and I messed up. This guy's a jerk. This guy's lazy. This guy's amazing, but he can't play. So, like, you got all these different, it's just you don't know what basketball team you got till you got it. And I bet Chris Beard thought he had a better basketball team than this. I thought he did.
Number 3.
Hey, the NFL Pro Bowl was last night. You didn't know this?
I did know this, yeah.
Is this not a real thing? Was the Pro Bowl not last night?
No, the Pro Bowl was last night. Yes, it was.
Okay, you looked at, like, I hope it's...
Well, you said in the open of the show today that I'm going to ask Bennett what his thoughts are on the Pro Bowl. So I, like, quickly did a, like, Google search of where the Pro Bowl aired last night because I did not see it at all.
Okay. Man, I don't even know where, like, I swear, I'm at a point in my life where I wake, like, when my eyes open for the first time in a morning, it takes me, like, I don't want to exaggerate, but like 2 seconds. to like gather myself and be like, okay, where am I? What time is it? And I have this feeling every morning, every single morning. I set 3 alarms every time when I go to sleep.
Yeah.
But when I always wake up before the alarm. No matter what time I go to sleep, I wake up before the alarm. That's called sleep apnea. And when I wake up, I need a couple of seconds just to be like,
to gather yourself.
I'm in New York and it's morning. Because as soon as this is over, I will jump right back into a bed and try to get an hour of sleep because I'm up till 4 o'clock in the morning again tonight. And so
I watched you last night. Shout out to San Diego State.
Shout out to San Diego State. I appreciate you staying up. And so I when my eyes first open, I'm like, is it the afternoon or morning? I'm in New York. What time? So this morning, here's honestly what happened. My eyes open. I leave the window open. I want the sun coming in when the sun rises because I don't want it to be pitch black in here because then I could just sleep till 2 o'clock in the afternoon maybe. So I set 3 alarms, leave the window open, and my eyes always open before the alarm goes on. And this is what happens every morning, and including this morning. I go, oh my God, what time is it? Oh, geez. I hope I didn't blow this. And then I look at the phone and it's 8:45. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine. It's 8:45 here. It's 7:45 back home. Everything's fine. But every morning I have multiple seconds of concern that I've just messed up because my sleeping habits are so weird. So when you looked at me like, when I said, and the Pro Bowl was last night, and you looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, was it? Did I imagine that? Did I dream that the Pro Bowl was last night?
No, it in fact did happen last night,
okay,
yes.
Good. So
you want me to tell you about it?
I know a little bit about it. I guess I would not have known it happened.
You probably have more info than I do.
Okay. I was sitting in the CBS Broadcast Center, and we have 12 TVs in front of us.
Okay.
And we have, there's a whole room of people in there, and some of them are NFL fans, and so they wanted one of the 12 TVs to be on the Pro Bowl. So it was just in front of my eyeballs, so I saw it. And we had it on mute, but I saw it. And it was an indoor flag football game. Mm-hmm. But it was like, I looked up, and I'm like, okay, that's Joe Burrow. And then I looked up and I was like, okay, I know that guy too. And for what it's worth, I don't know anything more about it than this. But I've been somebody who's like, get rid of it. Like, who cares? But they looked like they were actually having a good time playing flag football against each other. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think the problem with that is it doesn't matter if they're having a good time if it's not fun for the viewer to watch it. I don't know, man. I mean, this one is like you said, I had no clue that the Pro Bowl was last night. I did not. And I didn't. It was on ESPN. I had no clue. And obviously, like, you have the big Jaren trade, so like you're just immersed in that all day yesterday, right? But I just had no clue. And if I'm the NBA, I look at that and I'm like, we have got to make sure that we don't turn into that. Whatever that is, we cannot let that happen with our All-Star game at all.
Yeah, maybe the ratings will come back and it'll be like, nobody watched this, nobody cares. And
there wasn't a lot on last night. I mean, I'm sure people watched. I'm sure it did a good number. It was on ESPN.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, I was struck by this. I watched the NBA All-Star game. How about that? Maybe this is what struck me. I watched the NBA All-Star game, and it looks like nobody wants to be there. Like, there's 10 guys on the court, and none of them look like they want to be there. They look like they're just playing out the clock for the most part. Like, all right, we're here, and we got to go up and down the court a few times. Here, shoot this. Here, dunk that. Here's a lob. Shoot this. Dunk that. And nobody looks like they're having a good time. They look like they're doing something they're obligated to do. Just the visual of it last night, like, they looked like they were having a good time playing flag football. They looked like they were enjoying themselves. And so, I don't know. I thought that was interesting. They looked like they were having fun playing flag football. And so I'll be interested to see if this is the path for the Pro Bowl, the consistent path for the Pro Bowl moving forward, because yeah, it just looked like they were enjoying themselves. Joe Burrow's a big name, and he seemed like he was having a good time last night, and that was interesting to me. But that was maybe the only
Number 4.
The NFL Players Association came out yesterday and said, not so fast, my friend. Robert Kraft, Roger Goodell, Patriots owner, NFL commissioner, have both in early 2026 indicated, like almost spoken about it, matter-of-factly, like, yeah, we're going to 18 regular season games. We're going down to 2 preseason games, and we're going to get it to where every team plays international game every year. And it was just like, okay, that's been reported, and it's like, that's the plan. And finally, because it's Super Bowl week and everybody's in the same place and everybody's available to the media, they get to the Players Association. The Players Association said, this is all stuff that would have to be negotiated. We have no desire. My membership has no desire to play an 18th regular season game or to play a game every year overseas. Like, we'll listen to it, but the idea that you could just snap your fingers and tell us we're working more without negotiating with us, like, that's just crazy. Like, to put it in simple terms, imagine if you and I were hired to do a show more or less from 10 to 12 every day, 5 days a week on Grind City Media, right? And then you read an interview with one of our bosses, and they were like, yeah, and like, great news, GP and Bennett are going to start doing a Saturday night show and then also a Sunday morning show.
That'd be interesting.
And
I think we could do a nice Saturday night show. I think it would get a little wild.
Yeah, like, it might be fun, I admit, but then I think at some point I'd go, shouldn't somebody talk to me about this?
Yeah.
Shouldn't somebody ask me if I want to do a Saturday night show? And if so, like, that's more work. So let's talk about how that works. And so that was the sentiment from the Players Association yesterday. Like, we're listening to our commissioner and one of our most prominent owners talk about 18 regular season games and an annual international game for every franchise. But they have not had that conversation with us, and they cannot do that without having that conversation with us, and we are not interested for a variety of reasons in playing 18 games or going overseas every year, so we got a lot to talk about. They got a lot to talk about, Bennett.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I still, we talked a little bit about the international games earlier this week, and it will be interesting to see if that comes to fruition. I mean, it already is in a sense. Like a lot of these teams are playing overseas next year. The NFL, it's like a little bit the NBA, I think they're clearly trying to grow the game by playing international games. I don't know how much the NFL is growing. It's already massive, right? So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But I'm for it. I mean, I thought like us playing over in London and Berlin was amazing, and hopefully gained a bunch of new Grizzlies fans. So like I like the international games. I actually think that that's a smart move by these leagues.
I'll tell you how it's going to play out. They'll negotiate, and then they'll eventually play 18 regular season games, and every franchise will play a game internationally annually, sure, because the owners typically get what they want, and they'll sweeten the pot in whatever form for the players to make it where they'll put on those helmets one extra time in the regular season annually, and they'll take a international flight one more time than they otherwise would annually. That's the way these things always work. We don't go backwards with this stuff. We don't go, like, there are places where it's pretty clear we need to go backwards with this stuff, like the NBA. Like, there's smarter people than I saying we're playing too many games in too condensed amount of time at a too fast of a tempo, and that's why everybody's hurt all the time. And even then, they don't want to go backwards. There's actual medical reasons to go backwards. And obviously, in the NFL, I think there's probably medical reasons out there to play less instead of more. Probably. But we don't go backwards. We don't go backwards. We move forwards. They'll negotiate it out, and then they'll play football.
Number 5.
We got to find Savannah Guthrie's mom. This is outrageous.
Man, this story just keeps getting wilder. I will like the one thing that was making the rounds this morning that has been shot down is like someone, I think a news outlet, like suggested something might be going on with the brother-in-law, and that has since been shot down.
Yeah. So a reputable news outlet, I guess, or at least was, reported that Savannah Guthrie's brother-in-law, the husband of her sister, could be considered a person of interest. And the local authorities have released a statement, I believe within the past couple of hours, saying, we have no person of interest. We have no suspect. And to share that irresponsibly is incredibly reckless, which, by the way, obviously is. I'll never forget this. I hate to even bring this up because it's such an awful story, but the Liza Fletcher story.
Oh, yeah, you did early on see a lot of misinformation out there with that.
I was here in New York. This story breaks. I'm in studio. People are asking, because it went national. It became like suddenly it's CNN's tweeting about it and Fox is tweeting about it and whatever. So I'm like, people are like, GP, what's going on? And I say, I don't know, but it sounds like a woman was abducted off the street. And they're like, geez. And they're like, so what are they thinking? And if you jumped on Facebook, if you jumped on Twitter, a lot of people were pointing a finger in a very specific direction. And what we eventually found out is that that person had nothing to do with this. Nothing. But there was a period of time where people thought that he did because of reckless speculation. And I can't imagine what that's like. Can you imagine losing your wife? Like, stop there.
No.
That's trauma forever. You never get over it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare that comes true. All right? But then imagine everybody thinks you did it. Right? What? So, I mean, it seems like a nightmare. Anyway, so that's what the local authorities in Arizona are now saying. Like, hey, you shouldn't do this to people. You guys got your little sources, and now you're calling a member of this family a person of interest, and we're telling you we don't have a person of interest. Now, to be clear, that might just be they don't have that yet. This could be where it's headed. But the local authorities are at least saying this report is premature and, in this moment, incorrect.
And it was just posted, TMZ posted this. The Pima County Sheriff says he does believe she's alive.
What in the world?
I know.
There's ransom notes. Have we touched on that?
Well, because TMZ also posted last night that they received what appeared to be a ransom note, sent to their headquarters. So it is wild, man. It is a wild story.
I mean, of all the things you think could happen to your 84-year-old mother, being abducted from her bed in the middle of the night, which is the allegation/report, like that doesn't even pop into your head.
Right.
Like I have a mother, she's, aging like mothers do, like sons do. Yeah, I worry about her. But not about getting abducted out of her bed. Like, that's not something I worry about. I worry about her, but not that. So, Jesus Lord. I don't know what else to say other than what a crazy story.
Oh, hopefully, again, like I said, the Pima County Sheriff's said that they believe that there's a chance that she's still alive, which is, because we're going on, day 3 right now?
Yeah, let's hope so.
Of her being missing, yeah.
Yeah, but the reporting is that she is 84 years old. She does have trouble getting around, maybe is a respectful way of saying it. But she is sharp-minded, they say. But also now without her medications. So, there's a lot going on here. It's just terrifying, scary.
It is, man.
Yes, if you're telling me law enforcement officials have indicated they believe she's still alive, I think we're all going to hope that they're right. That they're right, and that this awful story somehow has an amazing ending. Be back with Carry Out.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Jeff Dunham, Artificial Intelligence, his all-new tour.
You're the other white meat.
How can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other? Well, you're half of it.
I realized I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss a Memphis. Friday, April 10th, FedEx Forum. Tickets on sale Monday, September 29th at JeffDunham.com.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Own the 2025-26 Grizzlies season with the 10-game Flex Pack, the ultimate way to catch all the action on your terms. Choose your favorite matchups from intense rivalries to weekend thrillers and customize your pack to fit your schedule. With 10 games to pick, you'll never miss the moments that matter most. Visit Grizzlies.com/packs today to build your perfect ticket pack and cheer on the Grizzlies your way. It's your team, your season, and your schedule. So don't miss out.
The Grizzlies are proud to team up with Prime Global Group, a company on a mission to redefine real estate investment. By leveraging deep experience, strategic insight, and robust resources, Prime Global Group is shaping a smarter, socially responsible future. Whether you're an investor or simply curious, now's the time to explore innovative strategies that align with your values. Join the movement and discover how you can be a part of this exciting evolution. Visit primeglobalgroup.net to learn more and connect with the team today. That's primeglobalgroup.net.
With the Hustle Sweetheart package, including 2 floor seats with food and beverage at select Memphis Hustle home games in February for just $100. Visit memphishustle.com or call 901-888-HOOP to purchase your tickets today. Let's do carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we miss today?
Sad day in journalism. The Washington Post, it has been confirmed, is more or less shuttering its sports department, its legendary sports department, in what appears to be a cost-cutting maneuver. I mean, this is the place where Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon worked. And from that place was able to launch a successful television show that proved to television executives that, yeah, newspaper guys can be on TV if you just give them a chance. I mean, I really do think my career is connected to that in some way. I don't mean to overstate it, but when I was in college, I said, I want to major in journalism.
Yep.
And they said, well, what kind of journalist do you want to be? And I said, I guess a newspaper person. And they said, okay, good. Because you can either be a newspaper person or a radio person or a television person or a PR person, but you can't do all 4. You can't do all those things. Nobody does all those things. So I went to college for 4 years. I have a journalism degree with a newspaper emphasis. I never took a single radio class. Never went to the college campus radio station. Have no idea where it is, even to this day. Never took a television class. Never went to the campus television station. Don't know where it is. Never knew. I was in the newspaper because they told me, figure out what you want to do, buddy. Because nobody does. You're a newspaper guy, you write stories in a newspaper. You're a TV guy, you talk on TV. You're a radio guy, you talk on the radio. You don't do all those things. Nobody does all those things. Here comes Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon, straight out of the Washington Post. And they do a compelling television show. People like it. They didn't look like TV people. Maybe they didn't sound like TV people. But it was just like 2 smart guys talking to each other, 2 buddies talking to each other, and it worked. And it worked. And certainly, I never will make it to that level. But I am a newspaper person who now talks on television. And in many ways, that starts with them. Or certainly they were the 2 people who pushed it the most forward. And now when I talk to college students, I say literally the exact opposite thing of what people my age told me back then I was told, pick what you want to do, newspaper, TV, radio, and then go do that. And don't worry about the other stuff. And now I tell people, do everything. Learn to write, learn to talk on camera, long form, 45-second clips. Drive in your car, turn on a interview, listen to the questions, and then try to answer them yourself. Learn how to do everything. Because if you can do any one of these things well, you'll get asked to do all of them. And now I'm a former newspaper person. All I ever wanted to be was a newspaper person. And my primary jobs are to talk on television and talk in what amounts to a modern day version of radio, a podcast. And so Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon played a big role in anybody with my type of background now on television. They contributed to that in some way. And they came from the Washington Post. And now that place doesn't exist. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you, like, as I was trying to be a newspaper writer, one of the first times I remember being proud of myself, it was when I had a story published in the DeSoto Tribune. Was that what it's called? The DeSoto County Tribune, maybe? But it was like, I covered a Horn Lake High School football game, and they paid me $10 or something to send them some words. And it was but it was a real newspaper in my hometown, and my name was in it. And I was like, man, isn't that something? And then, like, the next time I remember being proud, Tulane, led by Sean King, undefeated, came to the Liberty Bowl. And it was a big story, a big national story. This undefeated team from New Orleans is in the Liberty Bowl undefeated. And the coach had just taken the Clemson job. Big story. And the Washington Post called the commercial appeal. They didn't know me. They called the commercial appeal and was like, hey, do you guys got anybody we can use to staff the Liberty Bowl? We don't want to fly somebody down, but if you guys got somebody, we'd like an original byline in our paper, Dateline Memphis, Tennessee. And whether it was John Stamm or Gary Robinson, the editors around at the time, I think the Washington Post was looking for like an established commercial appeal staff writer. But, it was busy for the commercial appeal. So they didn't want to offer one of their staff writers to the Washington Post. But somebody said, hey, there's this college kid that writes stuff for us sometimes. If you want him to do it. And they said, put us in touch. And I covered that Liberty Bowl for the Washington Post. I still have that somewhere. Like my name was in the Washington Post. The coolest. I mean, imagine watching All the President's Men, and then you're 21 years old and your name's in the Washington Post.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't many times where I'm proud of myself. I don't care around that feeling naturally. But I remember being proud about that. And now you see this happen. It's just gone. And I understand journalism has changed a lot, but like the Washington Post sports section should exist. This is crazy.
I completely agree.
And maybe this is why I'll never be a billionaire. Certainly wouldn't be a good one. You know who owns the Washington Post, right? It's the same guy that owns Amazon.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos, yeah.
I just can't imagine having all of those billions of dollars. And I know this comes across perhaps as naive. Every billionaire listening is probably going, yeah, you sound like an idiot. That's why you'll never be one of us. I got you. I just can't imagine having that kind of money. Billions and billions and billions and billions and billions. Like you are one of the wealthiest people on the planet. And part of your legacy will be wrecking something people cared about when you could have kept it and it wouldn't have mattered to you at all in any sort of meaningful way. Like you can either have your legacy be that's also the guy. That guy could get socks to your house in 8 hours on your front door. Also the guy that saved the Washington Sports Post section. The Washington Post sports section. He could get dog food delivered to your front door in the same day and also save the Washington Post sports section. Why wouldn't you want that to be more of your legacy? But I guess you just take that and just keep going down that path. Why wouldn't you want if you own like the most successful company in the world? I know this sounds stupid and naive, but like I would want my employees to like have living wages and be appreciative of me and think I'm the best owner ever. instead having them working in warehouses all day long, struggling, while I'm one of the wealthiest people. I don't know. It's crazy to me. I'm sure it's more complicated than I'm making it out. Yeah. And if I ever sit down with a billionaire, they'll be like, well, here's the thing you don't understand, GP. But I don't understand that. Like, there's a way for one of the richest people in the world to save the Washington Post sports section if it was a priority, and it clearly wasn't. So it dies like so many other things we care about.
What's today's biggest game?
Well, this will break your heart too.
What?
Tonight at the Fertitta Center down in Houston, Texas, it's our old pals from the American. 17-4 UCF, coming off a win over nationally ranked Texas Tech, is going to be visiting 19-2 Houston in a nationally televised game. Bennett, not too long ago, both these schools were in a league with us.
Mm-hmm.
Not too long ago, both these schools were in a league with us, and we looked down at them. We dominated them, and we looked down at them.
Mm-hmm.
And they got invitations to the Big 12. Memphis did not. Now they're playing high-profile games on national television in sold-out arenas. UCF's was capacity crowd on Saturday. Houston's will be capacity crowd tonight. And we're doing something different. Anyway.
Yeah.
The Cougars are 16.5-point favorites tonight. Tip is scheduled for 6 o'clock Central. FS1's the channel. How you going to act?
See, this is one of those, like, I lose last night, and now I start getting in my head and start making the wrong decisions because I think I'm wondering if I'm spotting a little funny business. I do. Do you think there's funny business involved? The reason I say that is because 16.5, Cincinnati or UCF just gets a big win. They're playing well right now. Well, of course they're going to go in and play Houston tough, right? Like, why wouldn't you take UCF in this scenario? That's why I think I'm going to zag and go with the Houston Cougars here tonight.
I see what you're saying, funny business.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody knows UCF's coming off a big win. Everybody knows UCF just had a court storm. Everybody knows UCF's a great story under Johnny Dawkins in a contract year.
Yep.
And you're giving me 16.5 points with them?
Of course. That's a no-brainer.
They're going to lose by 25.
I just feel like that's where we're at. So I'm going to zag. While others zig, I'm going to zag. I'm going to go Houston here. I don't love it, but I'm going to go with the Cougars.
Bennett says let's lay at 16.5 points with Houston tonight. Again, tip 7 o'clock. We are watching it on... No, tips at 6 o'clock. We're watching it on FS1.
What are we watching on TV?
I mean, I think the news. We've got to find Savannah Guthrie's mom.
Yeah, that's very true. Yes.
I think that's what I think we're following the news, as depressing as that can be. Oh, buddy, I know.
I think we're also just refreshing our feed like all day long to see if any news related to the Grizzlies.
What do you mean? To give you the latest from our buddy Kevin O'Connor?
I just saw this. Yes, go ahead.
Sources. This is from Kevin O'Connor, prominent NBA analyst, columnist. Sources, the Kings remain the team most strongly connected to Grizzlies guard Ja Morant. Sacramento views Morant as a high upside player who could return to star status with a change of scenery. The Heat are among teams engaged as well. So,
interesting. And guess who we play tonight?
Interesting. We just drop him off. Just leave him there. You know? just drop him off. What a wild place to get to.
Yeah, it is a wild place to be. Yes.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do indeed? Oh, I guess I need to press a button. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just sort of
caught up in my feelings there.
I was just sort of doing the expression like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But like quite literally what I needed you to do was hit the button.
Yeah. I was just like getting emotional.
I understand.
I
understand.
It's a tough time.
It is a tough time. It's an emotional time. It's an emotional time for all of us. Better days are ahead, Bennett. I genuinely believe that.
Okay.
I
hope so.
I don't always feel it. I don't think you can always see it on my face. But it's in there somewhere.
Okay.
Top 25 and 1 is updated over at CBSSports.com. I wrote about UConn and St. John's because they both won last night, and now they're set up for a showdown inside MSG, Midtown Manhattan, on Friday night. St. John's was disappointed at one point. They've now won 8 straight. UConn's won 18 straight. So how about this? Dan Hurley, Rick Pitino, two-time national champions. Inside Madison Square Garden, Friday night. National television. Their program's on a combined winning streak of 26 games. Let's go.
Let's pretty good, yeah.
That'll, whatever Friday night Fox television number they set last Friday with Michigan State, UConn St. John's under these circumstances is going to crack it, I would assume. So if you want to read about that, you can find it. It's top 25 and 1, CBSSports.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow's going to be Thursday. We'll look back at Grizzlies Kings. We will be getting ready for a trade deadline that'll come and go at 2 o'clock Central. Obviously, John Morant is expected to be a part of something before then. But as always, we'll see.
I did see the Grizzlies just dropped a, looks like a 5-minute tribute video to Jaren, so worth going and checking that out on all the Grizzlies social pages.
Yeah, we'll circle that back to what are we watching on TV? Go watch the Grizzlies tribute video to Jaren Jackson Jr. Michael Wallace will be here tomorrow as well. Should be a fun show. Looking forward to it already. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to try to enjoy mine, and we will meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.